it. Do
Dang,
it.
man, I missed out a lot of good stuff there. I mean, that was good. Oh well.
Yeah, it's okay.
Welcome back to the Nerd Files. I'm Dan,
I'm Tom.
and we both have the essential Fellini, so we thought it'd be cool to do like a review of each film that's in there. So there's 14 films in the essential Fellini by Criterion, and we're gonna cover Variety Lights today.
Yes. Is
So, and it's the first movie by Fellini from 1950. It's in black and white, and it follows a vaudeville type theater group, and their leader is Checo, right? Is it Checo?
I'm bringing it up. Oh,
Well, I know Fellini himself.
Becca.
He cast his wife, Giulietta Messina. I
Oh,
probably
really?
butchered, but that's his wife. Yeah, she's in several of his films. But
Okay.
yeah, they got married like in the 40s, and they stayed married until they died, which is I thought
Oh,
that was very interesting.
that's really cool. He also he wasn't the only director on this movie, if I am correct. Like he was only
Really?
yeah. Yeah, he didn't direct the full thing. So it was I was reading the booklet. Okay, so it's been a few months since I read the booklet and I watched the movie. So I don't have it in front of me too because it's in a different state.
Alberto.
Yeah, but so that Alberto Latuda, uh, according to Fellini, he directed the movie and Fellini was just wandering around behind him. That's how Fellini describes it. I'm assuming Fellini did a little bit more than he gives himself credit for. But he wrote the movie, and this was like one of his like passion projects. So
Wow, yeah, it starts his career really. I mean,
yeah, and because he does have the credit on this, whether or not he like directed any of it or not, it allowed him to do the White Sheik and continue on with his career. Um, so I mean, I'm glad he did it, and
yeah, me too.
I like this movie too. It's really fun.
I liked it too, and I I found it to be very, people it could happen. I mean, you have a struggling, theater owner or theater troupe owner, or he's a promoter, I guess, of Checo, and he finds new talent. It's kind of like Star Wars Born, if you think about it. Like he finds new talent, she becomes more popular than the brand that he has, and he loses money, and then he finds more new talent later. But that's the gist of the movie, essentially, I guess. But
Yeah, there is one aspect that I think we do also need to mention is he clearly wants to have sex with her. Like,
oh yeah, he's the predator
yeah, um,
because he already has his mistress,
yeah,
you know, Melina, and she finds out too. But yeah, we can get to that. But I just think it kind of count covers that like struggling artist type thing, especially when he's on the street. He finds all those street performers and stuff. So I just think I think it's still relevant. I think it's a powerful piece. It's one of from what I've known of Fellini, because this is the second movie I've only seen. I've only seen Eight and a Half and Variety Lights. This
and
one seems a little more restrained, so he
yeah.
may not have directed it.
Um, I haven't seen them all, so like I can't say for.
Right.
But my
Well,
understanding is that La Dolce Vita is kind of the turning point between realism and surrealism. I mean, like, because that movie is mostly realistic, but then there's a few scenes that are like surreal, which you'll see when we get there.
oh yeah, I think I know what you're talking about. Well, I know there's one. I think it's early on where there's this guy eating a light bulb,
Well, I don't remember that.
and the Variety Lights.
Oh, and Variety Lights.
Yeah. Oh, you're talking about Dolce Vita. I haven't actually seen that one yet.
Oh yeah, I don't remember that.
Yeah, this guy he comes on stage. It's like his act, and then he like
Oh yeah, yeah, Oh,
he
okay. I
breaks
forgot
up the
about
light
that
bulb and
part.
he eats it. And I was just like, I was wondering how did they film that? I don't know. It's just some kind of
Um,
can maybe some kind of candy.
I mean, that makes sense. That's what they did in Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory with the cups. Although I don't think he actually ate that. Like I think he just like bit into it and then like had it in his mouth, and then that's why they cut right after. So I
Yeah.
mean,
I'd have to rewatch Willy Wonka. It's been a while.
I watched that movie a lot. So
The original, right?
yeah, no,
Yeah.
I mean like the remake is fine. Like I don't hate it. It's just it doesn't. There's no magic to it. You know, like the original is magic. The remake is whatever.
There's no Gene Wilder.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, you know, I enjoy Johnny Depp's performance, but he's just weird. You know, like he's not like warm and lovable the way that Gene Wilder is. Whereas like Gene Wilder's weird, but he's also warm and lovable. Um,
Yeah. There's moments too where you feel like you're gonna, be murdered by him too. I felt
Oh,
like,
well, yeah, he clearly murders those children. The remake, they were like, we're gonna be clear that he didn't murder the children, and I'm like, no, 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 you don't understand. The possibility that he murdered the children is very much something you want to keep ambiguous.
So what you liked Variety Lights? Was there a particular thing that you enjoyed?
um,
I thought it was a pretty good story. I think this was
yeah, yeah,
more about the characters because you have Liliana. She wants a big break. She wants to be a star, and she goes on. There's a scene where she goes on stage, and the theater's a mess. I mean, it's leaking roofs and all kinds of stuff going wrong, and it's just kind of she doesn't have a good debut from what I
yeah,
remember. And um, Checo, he's really like you said, he's more into like what she looks like and the physical stuff and making money. Um, where then I think Milana, his mistress, she's kind of the stable of the troupe or the vaudeville act. So I liked the characters a lot, and I thought there were some funny moments. It's kind of a funny movie too. There's some funny dialogue,
yeah,
like a lot of the Italian tempers and stuff. You get that kind of feel.
yeah.
Um,
I would agree with all that. I did find the characters relatable, and it was very funny. It's been a while,
yeah.
so I am like trying to
Oh,
remember.
you're good. Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I like this one. It was fun. I I see why it was essential.
Well, yeah, it's essential because Fellini's career. So like this basically
Yeah,
started it, and he has his wife in it. It's great story. I think the story has influenced other movies. Like I feel like it's really influenced Star Wars Born. Of course, I think Star Wars Born though was made in the 30s too. So I don't know.
yeah,
It's a common story though, where the struggling artist down and out and finds a new thing, and also Scorsese did a short with Nick Nolte, and it was like part of this New York Stories anthology. I think I might have showed you this a long time ago, but Nick Nolte plays a painter, and he's always like inspired by the women he's dating, and then he breaks up with them, and then he finds a new muse, so a new woman. And I
uh,
thought the ending of this really kind of was just like that, where Checo has a new woman at the end that he's going to pursue to join his theater group until she finds something better off. Because spoilers of by now, if you haven't seen the movie, feel free to come back and listen to this. But um, Liliana, I think that's her name, right?
yeah.
Liliana, she's at the end. There's two trains, and Liliana's on one train. She's going off to like a bigger show, and Checo's back where he started in the film. Struggling with this vaudeville group, and they kind of part ways, and then the cycle continues again with Checo. So I thought it was a fitting ending, and yeah, it's not a very long movie. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's good. Um, it's interesting how early. So okay, so I've seen several of Fellini's movies, um, and it's interesting how he has like his protagonists always share like, well, not always, but they often share commonalities with Fellini himself. And it keeps coming back to the themes of infidelity, which is based on reality. Um, so I mean, it's kind of surprising that his first protagonist is a cheater. You know, like he's cheating on his wife already. Like that's the first main character he's got.
Yeah, and that wife sticks with him, and that's his actual wife. And in
Yeah,
real life is Mina, I think it's her name, right? Mina, Melina.
yeah, that's
Yeah, I didn't know that because I just found out today that they were married 50 years or
I had no
more.
idea. That's nuts. I mean, I don't know. I I'm surprised she stayed with him. Like, at least according to his films, like, I mean, I don't know how much he was actually cheating on her, but at least according to the films, it seems like he's cheating like all the time. Like,
Huh. Yeah, I don't know. Because then the story's true in a way. Because I mean,
yeah, yeah, it really is kind of
he
just like,
finds a new person to cheat with at the
yeah,
end. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, it does. I mean, in 8.5, which we'll get to later, it's kind of the same thing. He's probably in his life where he's kind of a struggling director.
mhm.
Yeah, I like that though. I like when stuff is based on personal things. It's to some extent. I mean, I don't.
Well, yeah, I mean, like,
Um,
no matter what, you're gonna bring something of yourself to a work if it's gonna be any good. I mean, like, the more you try and take yourself out of it, the more you end up putting in accidentally.
mhm.
So
Yeah, it helps to have a connection to the material.
yeah, and that's the thing is like I clearly an 8.5. He knows that that is himself, and I'm wondering how if he realized when he was making Variety Lights that that was a self portrait or not. You know, like
Hmm.
he must have been aware on some level, but I'm not
Yeah,
sure like if it was as clear to him as it was later.
I'm not sure. I haven't read the essays yet, but I plan on it.
What I was doing is I would like start the movie and then I would read the essay like halfway through. And then I was like, I should stop doing this because I keep spoiling the movie for myself because they tell me things that happen afterwards.
Yeah,
Uh,
I was afraid to read them for that reason. I didn't want to get spoiled in any of the movies. And
yeah,
there's a couple documentaries on this disc that I almost watched, and I was like, I probably shouldn't because they go through his career, and there's
yeah,
like
yeah.
a hour and a half documentary on there. But there's a lot of great material on this disc.
Oh yeah, this is a really it's a beautiful set. Like I mean, they have a really they always have a really lot of good special features. But this one especially is just like really cool to look at. Like I when it came, I was like, oh, it's an advent calendar. Like
I
it's
thought it was a board game.
not.
You open it up and you have like the theater bill, of all the
Yeah,
movies. It's really neat.
yeah, it is a very cool design. They definitely outdid themselves with that. I wasn't. I mean, like I had seen the pictures of it, but I didn't expect it to be as big as it is. Um,
Yeah. Did you have any discs fall out when you opened it?
Mm, I
I had
don't think.
one.
I don't think. I think mine all stayed in.
I had one fall out was La Dolce Vita.
I love that one. That was my first Fellini movie, and I watched it on my own, and I enjoyed it. And then I saw it in the theater, and I was like, "This movie is
You saw it
incredible."
in theaters?
Yeah, they showed it at the Egyptian, and so me and a friend went, and um, yeah, it was great. I think that was the night that then we got an Uber pool, and we were talking with the people in the Uber pool, and I don't know. We got into a long conversation, which usually doesn't happen in Uber pool for, or at least for me. Like I don't talk with people, but if I don't have to,
Right,
uh,
right. But do you find it hard to watch with subtitles sometimes? Like when you want to watch the visuals in like a Fellini film, is it hard
um,
to really pay attention to the subtitles?
yeah. I mean, it depends. Like, for these early ones, I did have some trouble just because I knew nothing about any of them. Like, I've watched the
Yeah.
first three of this set now, and I knew nothing about them. I knew nothing about the plot. Um, and so I was trying to read and watch at the same time. Um, eight and a half, I sometimes just wasn't reading what was going on. I was just watching the trippy.
Well, that was a big difference. I mean, Variety Lights doesn't really have like the fancy camera work
Yeah,
as later films that we'll get to, but it's still it has some little bit of surrealism with like I said the light bulb stuff, and then I thought the musical numbers were cool. So in a way, it's like a musical because there was a song that I recognized, but I forgot the name of it. But I know I'd heard it before, and I didn't know. I don't really know if that was something that was original to this piece. Probably not. But and I like the trumpet player too. I thought, or saxophone or trumpet. I think it was a trumpet
well, I don't
on the
remember.
street. Because Checo, yeah, I just watched it, so I'm pretty fresh with it. But
Yeah, I watched it almost as soon as I got in November from the Criterion sale. So it's been a minute for me. So I'm like
yeah.
trying to remember it.
Yeah, no, Checo is kicked out of the hotel, I guess, or he's on the, he's in trouble, and he meets these street artists, and he finally he's like, oh, I can get you guys on stage, stay right here, but I and the street performer, I thought it was pretty cool. He was playing the trumpet and stuff, so I mean, there was a cool scene there. Um,
Yeah. There's a scene that's similar in Il Bidon with a with street performers. And so when you're talking about it, I was thinking of that one, and I was like, there was one Variety Lights. Like I don't remembering.
is that the third film?
Yeah, it's the third film. I've watched the
Okay.
first three in order, and then I've seen La Dolce Vita, eight and a half, and Roma, which are later. And then I brought four of them that were out of order because I didn't know we were going to do this, obviously, since we decided after. But
So yeah, what happened was that there was a flash sale, and I decided to buy the set, and I was like, dude, let's review each one.
yeah, so I brought 6, 9, 10, and 12 with me. So it's Knights of Cabrina, Juliet of the Spirits, Fellini Saccharon, and Amarcord. Because I was like, should I bring the next four, or should I just bring four that I really want to watch? And I was like, I'm gonna bring four that I really want to watch. Like those are the big four that I was interested in getting the set for.
Should I bring a couple with me?
Sure. Why don't you bring the next two, and then we could just do
Okay.
the
I'll see if my dad wants to watch them.
yeah. It's hard to get people to watch
I
these.
know.
Um, I don't know, like
I'll bring them if I don't have time. I don't have time, but I'll bring
yeah,
them.
yeah, whatever. It's whatever. It's really hard to get people to watch movies with subtitles. Um,
That's what I was like, Dad, do you want to watch some Italian films? He's like, oh, sure. And then he's like, well, sometimes I don't really like those movies with subtitles that much. I mean, he's like, I don't have my attention span. I was like, okay, well, we'll see. But
I've been getting so into foreign films, like not in any particular like order. Like I've done some of the bigger ones, but they had like an Arrow sale, so I got uh, the Bloodthirsty Trilogy. It was a series of Japanese Dracula movies without Dracula
whoa,
in them. So
whoa.
basically, this Japanese studio saw that the Hammer horror movies with like Christopher Lee and Peter Cushing were doing really well with their vampire movies. So they were like, why don't we just do that? And they did. So they're just Japanese Dracula movies from that same era. And
Oh, that's great.
yeah, no, I mean like they're not exactly good, but like they're about the same quality as like a Hammer horror movie. I mean, like most of the Hammer horrors aren't good. I mean, but they're enjoyable. And then vampires pop out. It's like they do like the heavy caked on white makeup on the Japanese actors, but only when he's like gonna come and kill them. Like if he's just like walking around like normal, they don't do it. So it's really funny because like then just suddenly it's like, and I'm like, yes.
Oh, that's great.
I was actually thinking of getting. They have that same studio put out 2 Invisible Man movies, and I'm like, all right, like I might. I'm not gonna be like. There's no other way to watch them really. Well, maybe they're on the Arrow streaming thing. I didn't actually look there.
It's possible. I mean, there's a lot of stuff. I mean, I've noticed, like you said, the Shutter and the Arrow are pretty similar.
Yeah, so since I have Shutter, I'm not gonna get Arrow. Ooh, I was very excited. I don't know if there was. I feel like I heard about it before, but I did a search just for Shutter today just to get to the site, and Bing brought up an article from 3 days ago that apparently they found a lost George A. Romero movie, and that's coming to Shutter. It's called The
Whoa.
Amusement Park. Um, it's apparently like a little under an hour, but it was considered so bloody and violent that the distributors didn't want to put it out.
Wow. What's it called again?
The amusement park.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, this is like I feel like I heard something about it being discovered before, and then now they're saying that Shutter got it. So I'm happy because I'm like I don't have to pay for anything. I can watch that and then decide if I want it, or maybe they'll never release it. Like
Dude, I love that Shutter does that. They put on physical media. They put it
yeah,
out, you know. I think that's
yeah,
great.
it's annoying when Netflix like doesn't release things. Like I wish I could buy The Other Side of the Wind by Orson Welles. That one was
Yeah,
really
you have to wait for Criterion.
pretty much, and I don't know when they're gonna do that.
Other big news was the what's the one that you like that I sent it to you. God
Yes,
dang it.
the Groove Tube is
The
coming.
Groove Tube is coming.
It was funny. I like clicked on it, and all like I scrolled down to the reviews, and all the reviews are like, "Kentucky Fried Movie is so much better. This movie is shit." And I'm like, "You guys are crazy. This one's the best one. Kentucky Fried Movie is like number 3. It's Groove Tube, Amazon Woman on the Moon, and then Kentucky Fried Movie." But I mean, I find the nudity hilarious. So I mean, I guess maybe I'm in the minority. I don't know.
I don't think so. I mean, it's getting a Blu-ray, so
I'm
it's
excited.
gonna live on.
Yes.
That's the important thing. It's gonna it's going onto the high def. I
Hmm.
think it was only available on VHS, or was
Yeah,
there a DVD?
I think there was a DVD, but I'm gonna guess it was like one of the like bootlegged ones. So like before Magical Mystery Tour got released on Blu-ray, they had what I think was a bootleg, because like I just ordered a DVD of it and was like, it was off Amazon. It wasn't like I went somewhere weird to get it, you know. And it was it looked like someone had just burned it off of a VHS tape. So I'm gonna guess that that's what the possible Groove Tube DVD you could get was someone had just
Yeah.
burned it off of a VHS. Um, which I mean, I guess if that's the only way you can get it, that's still the only way you can get Let It Be. Although, although Mom is saying that she thinks that the Peter Jackson one is going to just be like a more accurate version of what Let It Be should have been. So
Really? The Get Back?
yeah, yeah. I don't know too much about it, but she was saying that Paul said that when Let It Be came out, he thought that they were skewing it in a way that didn't align with how he remembered events. And when Peter Jackson was showing him the footage, he was like, "This is a lot more like what I remember was going on." So they just like kind of edited it.
Yeah, they've got a bunch of footage. I don't know if
Yeah.
you saw that trailer, but it was.
Oh, I saw that trailer. Look, I'm very excited. It looks
It
great.
looks like it was shot yesterday. Like they
I know.
did such a great job remastering it.
You know, it's kind of like the They Shall Not Grow Old. Like, oh my god, that it was incredible. You just like watch it and you're just like, I can't believe this footage is over 100 years old at this point. Like the war was over in 1921. Like, so it's all over 100 years old now.
Yeah.
And I just can't even believe it because you just see like they have a fucking like almost like a log that they all just like that's like a little bit raised up and they all just sit on it and shit over the side of it into like a big you're like, oh god, like that sucks. There's like people like laying in the trenches like curled up asleep and it's just like this really puts it in a different
I shouldn't
perspective.
laugh. I don't know
I
why.
know, but like it's so weird seeing it because you're just like, oh god, like it's kind of like when you realize that they would shit over the sides of pirate ships and like any ship in that era, like, and you're like, oh god, like,
Yeah, they don't show that in Pirates of the Caribbean. They're not
no,
going
they
to show
don't.
that side of, you know.
So the first posthumous Michael Crichton book they came out with was called Pirate Latitudes, and he clearly shelved it because Pirates of the Caribbean came out, and he was like, "Shit, now I can't publish this. Like it'll look like I'm
Yeah,
copying." Um, but he includes a scene where they shit over the side of the boat.
that's great.
And that was I didn't read. I read the next. I read most of the next posthumous one, but then I stopped there because I was like, "Ooh, this one, ooh, cringy."
Really?
Well, yeah. So like this. Okay, so I don't know. They keep coming out with them, so like I don't know how they're doing that. But the second one, I don't remember the name of it, but it was about this like group of people that get shrunk.
So it's like downsizing?
No, it's like a thriller. Like they're accidentally shrunk. It's like Honey, I Shrunk the Kid.
Oh, but a
Uh, and when
thriller.
and when I realized that was what the book was gonna be, I just stopped reading. 'Cause I literally got to that scene and was like, okay, I'm good. Like, but that one they had to get another author to finish it. And my understanding was that he had only written the first third, but he had a outline for the next two thirds. And so then I was like, well, that's got to be the last one, right? Because like if you're putting out a book that's a third finished and you had to get another author to finish it, that's clearly the last one. But no, they've been putting out like more for like a
Really?
well, yeah, he's been dead
Wow.
since like 2008, I think, and they put out like let me actually look this up because, like,
They keep putting out a little bit of his work still. That's crazy.
yeah,
I don't. Man,
it's very weird. It's very weird to me. They just put out a sequel to the Andromeda Strain, which was his first novel, and yeah, I don't know. It's very weird that they're doing it. Micro, that's the one that I was talking about.
oh, it makes sense with the shrinking.
Yeah. Okay, so then they put out a third one, Dragon's Teeth, which I haven't read, and then they did the Andromeda Evolution.
Was it just outlines, you think, or they're actually he actually wrote most of it?
I don't think there was any other names on it, which usually they do with the ghostwriter.
Hmm. I bet he just had journals of or just documents upon documents then in his
Yeah,
office or
you know
something.
what? I wasn't thinking about that, but you're right. Maybe if it was in like journals in manuscript form, they wouldn't have known. Whereas maybe those first two were saved on a computer,
Yeah,
and like the other ones are just handwritten, and so you'd have to go through all of his papers to find them.
yeah, to really make sense of it and then see if it's even releasable.
Yeah. Um.
I know Prince, he had like I want to say like 50 albums that were never released. Like
Dang.
he had so much material that he'd never used because he was such a perfectionist.
Wow. I mean, yeah, you have to like go back and forth, I guess, because it's like you don't want to put anything that's just going to be seen as a cash grab, but you also it, they're an artist, like you want to put out what's good. I mean, the Silmarillion was published posthumously, and they keep putting out J.R.R. Tolkien's writings posthumously.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, the
Well,
Michael.
man, I think go ahead.
No, I'm good.
I was gonna say that it's been a good review of Variety Lights.
We already got off topic. That's
I
not.
know, I know, it's all good. But I got to get back to packing,
Yeah,
and let us know below what you guys think about Variety Lights. Have you seen it? Any of your favorite Fellinis? Let us know. We're gonna do more reviews down the road, so stay tuned. Thanks for watching.
yeah. Stay classy, internet.